Okay. Vikings, Lions tomorrow at the Palace. I'm just glad this week is over. This has been the worst week as a Vikings fan, and especially as far as like dealing with other Vikings fans or so-called Vikings fans. Um, this last week has been the worst that I can remember. I mean, the toxicity, the vitriol, the anger at the team, anger at the coach, anger at anybody who would defend the coach or the team. I mean, it's out of control. I mean, I thought it was like the last video I did, but I thought things were already bad. That was like 25, like didn't change. I mean, like this was a really rough week. I kind of just tapped out at the point. I'm like, this isn't worth it. Like these people are like I said, I think I said in the last video, they're rabid dogs. These people who want Zimmer fired, and they're hoping for a loss tomorrow, and that sucks because it's a shitty way to be as a fan um, to be rooting for a loss, but they are, whether they admit it or not, they are. Um, this game coming up here is one of those classic ones where you almost can't win either way because it's definitely a must win. They have to win. Like I try to be as optimistic as anybody. They lose to Detroit tomorrow. There's absolutely no chance they can make something of this season. Um, it's a must win. You have to win it, but also if you do win it, no one's going to give you any fucking credit because it's just the Lions, and the Lions are coming in winless. They're not good. You know, they're just the Lions. This is just another Lions season. So you're not going to get any credit. They can go out tomorrow and win 62-0. It ain't going to matter. No one's going to care because they're just going to say it's Lions. So they can come out tomorrow. They can look much better. They can look like they did, you know, against Seattle, much of the game against Arizona. It ain't going to matter because they're just going to say, all the same people are just going to say that, that it's just Lions. It doesn't matter. They're still below 500. They didn't beat a team with a winning record, so it doesn't matter. Um, it's and of course, if they were to lose, look out. It's gonna, like, as bad as this last week has been, it might get even worse. Um, and I don't. It's not 100% that the Vikings are going to win. Like, any given Sunday and all that. We've seen the Lions teams come in here a few times and get wins on us. Like, it's not impossible. Like this, you know, I like, all the pressure is on the Vikings. There's no pressure on the Lions. The Lions are already dead and buried. First year with the coach, first year with the quarterback. They don't know what they're doing. This is like, for the Vikings. This is, there's no alternative to this. They have to win, and if they don't win, it's going to be very, very bad. And I don't know that means if they don't win that they're going to fire Zimmer. I don't believe that. I don't think we're at the point where any given week, if they lose, Mike Zimmer's fired or Rick Spielman's fired or whatever. I think that's very, very far off. I don't think, like, and the people who insist on just yelling "fire Zimmer" at every fucking person who posts about the Vikings or any comment about the Vikings online, like, all they want to say is "fire Zimmer." You're not going to get your wish. Even if you get your wish this season, it ain't gonna be this week if they lose. It ain't gonna be next week if they lose. But if they do lose, if they do happen to lose to Detroit, I don't see how they can rebound and make the playoffs. I still see how they can rebound and make the playoffs and make a run for the division, because no one wants to fucking hear it. I do agree that this is a pretty good team. They haven't had a fucking bit of luck, bit of officiating, fairness, nothing. And the schedule's tough. But you know what? The schedule always looks tough when you're looking at it ahead of time. So, there's no point in worrying about the schedule because you have no idea what's going to happen. Russell Wilson just got hurt and he's out for 2 months. You never know. There could be some other injuries that happen to teams, and you don't know. So, and of course, the Vikings are probably happy about that. That the Wilson thing, because now the Seahawks will have a bad season, and we can't say, "Hey, we beat the Seahawks." Well, the Seahawks suck. Well, yeah, because they're going to have Geno Smith quarterback for 2 months. So, you know, that's just how that works. Um, but yeah, I think they're going to win tomorrow. I think they're going to come out. I think they haven't stopped playing for Zimmer. That's one of the things that people calling for Zimmer to be fired. They haven't stopped playing for the guy. They're playing hard. They're not always playing smart. There have been mistakes. They're not always playing well, but they are playing hard. I don't think they're gonna this isn't gonna be like the Atlanta game last year where they come out and against a team that they should beat and just lay an egg. It's not gonna be like that. They're gonna come out. They're gonna play hard. Doesn't mean they're gonna blow them out. You know, and it won't matter if they do. Like I said, they could win. They could win. By 4 touchdowns. It ain't gonna matter. But I mean, I think it's going to be more like a 10-14 point type of game. They're not going to just kill anybody. I don't think they're going to do that. But like, they are a better team than the Lions, and they're not like overall as a team. They're not playing poorly. And people don't want to hear it. The defense has played pretty good the last couple weeks, and I'm so sick of the narrative that last week was just because Baker Mayfield sucked. No, he had a bad game because we were getting after him, pressuring him, and rattling him, and forcing him into some bad throws. That's what you do with the opposing quarterback if you can. Is that's the whole point of pressure, even if you don't get him on the ground. So I think they played a very good game overall. Now, obviously, the run defense ain't what they want it to be, but they were also facing one of the best run teams. Detroit doesn't have the weapons that a Cleveland or Seattle or an Arizona has. They're not going to be able to get you that way. Doesn't mean they're not going to put up points. They're going to put up some points, but I don't think they're going to put up as many points as the Vikings. And I think the Vikings are ready to have a nice rebound game. Lions have some guys out. I think they got their left tackle out. They got, I think, one of their big pass rushers out. There's Lions are coming in 0-4 and banged up. I think pretty much everything favors the Vikings. Now, again, doesn't mean they're going to win any given Sunday, but I think they are very primed for a big bounce back game and kind of just like a feel good blowout win. I hope they get it. Dalvin Cook might not play. It looks like he's going to be game time decision again. Honestly, I almost hope they don't play him because they put him out there last week. He wasn't very effective. The handful of times he got the ball. Just roll with Madison. You're fine with just going with Madison. Anthony Barr, he's supposed to be back. This would be his first game in over a year. He's not on the injury report, so he better fucking play. If he doesn't play now after not even being on the injury report, then something is seriously up. But I think he's gonna get out there. He'll probably be rusty, but I mean, he's better than not having him out there. Overall, pretty healthy. Michael Pierce, I guess, is going to be out for a little while. But you've got some depth there. So you wondered why you keep going out and signing, defensive linemen. Well, this is why. Now you got Sheldon Richardson there. You can pop him in there, or move Tomlinson to Pierce's spot and move Richardson over there. Whatever. They've got some options there. But overall, they're pretty healthy. This is probably about as healthy as they've been heading into any game this year. So they're healthy. I think they're motivated. They understand that this is a must-win type of game. They're not gonna lay down. They're not gonna quit on Zimmer. They never have. They're playing hard for him. They're not always playing well. Mistakes are being made on offense and defense, and coaching too. I think they're better than 1-3, but they've made some mistakes that have put them in these spots too. So, but I don't think they're gonna make enough mistakes to be 1-4 and lose at home to a winless Lions team. I just don't see it. Maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe in 28 hours or whatever, I'll be fucking pissed off and depressed, and maybe I'll be calling for Mike Zimmer to be fired. I highly doubt it. I mean, if they pull like an Atlanta game tomorrow, maybe if there's some instant, if there's some kind of like feeling that they've quit on Zimmer, that's a whole other discussion. But to this point, they haven't. They haven't quit on Zimmer. They're playing their asses off. They played their ass off last week. It just didn't work out. Sometimes it's just a bad fucking matchup. Seattle. The same Seattle team that we handled pretty well. They went out to San Francisco and won, and then they damn near beat the fucking Rams, even though they had Geno Smith playing quarterback for a lot of the second half. So, any given week. Look at last week. There were a lot of upsets last week. Who the fuck thought the Jets were going to beat Tennessee? Nobody. Who thought the Giants were going to go in and win in New Orleans? Nobody. It's the way it is. Any given Sunday. But I think the Vikings are going to be able to come out tomorrow and play a really good, solid game, get a nice win, whether it's a blowout or just I can't see it. I can't see them just laying an egg. I just don't see it. I think this team is better than that, and then hopefully you get through this, get a win, and then you go deal with Carolina next week. Then you get the bye, and then look, Viking teams under Zimmer have kind of hit their stride around this point in a season. They've had some rough starts. They've had some like 1-3, 1-4, 2-2 type of starts, and then they've kind of got on a run. I think they still think they can. I'm sorry. Like people say, oh, look at the schedule after the bye. It's impossible. I don't see it as impossible. I just don't. Like, you've played a couple of the toughest games you're going to play already. Yeah, you lost them. You lost to Arizona. You lost to the Browns. But, and all anyone wants to do this week is point out the, Mike Zimmer's coaching record against teams with winning records. It's a record. Yeah, he's lost a lot of games. A lot of those games, he just simply had inferior teams, too. It's not always just about coaching. Like sometimes you just have inferior teams. They've only one of his years here if they had what you could call like an elite team. So, yeah, you're probably going to lose to a lot of those teams, and maybe they don't have an elite team this year. But I don't look at some of those games after the bye and think, oh my God, how can they possibly win any of these games? But as has been proven this week, being the least bit optimistic about the Vikings, the least bit supportive of Mike Zimmer, all it does is get you a bunch of hate comments, fucking dipshit blowing up comments in my last video, proving my point completely about what these people are. They drive me nuts. I'm just glad this week is over. We can get to an actual game and just go from there, see what happens. I think they win. I think the Vikings win, 34-20 in that range. And again, no one's going to give them any credit because it's just the Lions, but it's a game you got to win, and I think they will win it.